Hello YouTubers and welcome aboard. I am Noob Flyboy X and welcome back to F1 2018 Career Mode. It's round 3 of Season 2 here at the Chinese Grand Prix. First of all, something to note is the audio is going to be a little different for this one. One, my voice is going to be different because I am in my dorm rather than at home, and two, I'm not going to have any audio of the clips themselves, just because I was talking with friends during this race, and it, really kind of distracted from the sound of the cars. As we can see me getting all bent out of shape as Alonso taps me on the rear end here in practice. Or no, it's actually at the end of Q1 rather. I've already set my time for that. So there is the end of qualifying 1. We make it through pretty easily in 9th. Coming now to Q2. Here's my lap in Q2, and we go fastest in that session, actually. There we go. The remaining session is actually going to be pretty interesting because I don't improve on that time, but we get into Q3 in P3. Up next, with the rain starting to fall, we're going to have an interesting outcome here, as my friend and I are making fun of Fernando Alonso finishing in 11th, even though he has a rocket ship. But here we are for our first time in Q3. We can see the rain coming down. We're not really going to improve. And there is the result for Q3. Romain Grosjean has set the fastest time, despite me going fastest in the best conditions for the time. But whatever, is what it is. Here we are looking at the grid of the race. As I said before, Romain Grosjean will start from pole position and myself alongside. Behind us, Kimi Räikkönen and Daniel Ricciardo on row 2. Behind them, Perez and Magnussen, followed by Bottas and Hülkenberg, and the 5th row is Sainz and Hamilton. In 11th is Fernando Alonso and Vettel in 12th, Verstappen 13th and Ericsson 14th. Then Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc, Stoffel van Dorn, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll and Brendan Hartley then completing the grid. And as Crofty would say, it's time to head down to the track. So, as usual, we're just going to take a quick look at the race strategy. It's looking pretty good for a 2-stopper here. Sometimes we can get away with 1 stops if people really know what they're doing and have good tire wear upgrades, but we don't have that at the moment. Here we go to 5 red lights, and away we go. Grosjean actually gets a fairly decent getaway compared to us, but we managed to hold on to P2 initially. Kimi Räikkönen, though, steams around the outside there, and he's got that position off of us. We're going to have to try to hold on to 3rd as we're on the inside here, but Daniel Ricciardo sneaks around the outside as well, going pretty quickly there. Sergio Perez also trying to have a look up our inside as we head out of turn 3. The two of them battling away now up in front of us, trying to pass Romain Grosjean. Grosjean does not have the pace to keep the race lead for very long, I don't think, as we try to hang in there and work on getting our place back from Ricciardo. I don't know if we're going to be able to attack Räikkönen just yet. Hopefully we will, but we'll see. We'll just have to hold on to our position for now, I guess. Perez has fallen a little way behind, so we actually do have room to look forward in this race rather than look behind, trying to defend ourselves. So here we go. This is all looking fairly good here as we head on toward the back straightaway into the very long corner over here. I can't remember which numbered corner this is, but onto the back straightaway here. That Haas of Grosjean is not going to have the pace to keep ahead of the Ferrari at least, and possibly not that Red Bull either, because the Red Bull is very slippery in a straight line, even though it's really not thanks to its engine power. Here we go. There we can see Räikkönen already making a move. Ricciardo's still in the slipstream. There he goes to the inside as well. Grosjean looks like he's trying to defend, but he's gone, a little bit too late. And Ricciardo's slipped up his inside and is already challenging Räikkönen, looking for 2 passes in 1 corner here. We're now on Grosjean's tail, looking to pass him as well. I know we've got the pace to get him, but we'll just have to see how the leaders sort out with Ricciardo and Räikkönen squabbling up in front of us. Probably not having all the pace that they could have if they were just in clean air. A little while later, here's my move on Grosjean, down the inside into that first hairpin. And we've got that position off of him. Sergio Perez looking to pass him as well. I believe that Force India does have better performance than the Haas, so Grosjean will need to watch out for him as well. Coming down the back straightaway on lap 4, Perez, though, has got past Magnussen, or rather Grosjean, and is on our tail, trying to come up our inside. But fortunately, I have enough pace in a straight line to keep ahead of him. He's looking fairly aggressive, but we don't really need to defend too hard because it's already time for a pit stop. These purple Ultra Softs wear pretty darn quick. Looks like Raikkonen is also in ahead of us. Grosjean's made up his place back on us, and I think that's Valtteri Bottas coming in with us as well, along with one of the Renaults. So there's a lot of people making stops very early in this race, hoping to just get off worn rubber very quickly. We have the typical Williams good stop, but we're held in the pits as other cars go past us. We had a bad position with that Renault, so it's a very long stop for us, and we've lost out to Bottas as a result. Here we can see as we come out, we're still not quite last. It was that Renault that came in behind us, Nico Hulkenberg, who was officially in last, but it looks like he's had a problem straight away as we're just out of the pits now on lap 5. I can see a yellow flag behind us, and the only one there is that unfortunate Renault. We can see the engine's turned into a smoke bomb. He's still trying to carry on for a little ways, but that's not really going to work too well for you. Eventually he'll park it up over on the side of the track there. On lap 6, we're starting to make up some places via others making our stop. We come out just barely in front of Grosjean. We nearly had a repeat of last year's incident on the first corner with myself and I believe the Renault of Carlos Sainz. Beginning of lap 7, there's some more in the pits. One of them, I believe, is Verstappen. We've got him. We'll just have to see if some others can get out in front of him and hold him up. No, it looks like he's got out in front of Grosjean. Perez just in front of us, so the overcut has worked for him better than the undercut. But onto the back straightaway on lap 8, we have DRS now. Perez is looking to make a move on Lance Stroll, my teammate, who has not, I think, made a pit stop yet. He's on a longer strategy. Not sure exactly how, but here I go up the inside. There's a little bit of contact with the Toro Rosso in front of us, but we've got our teammate, and we've got Sergio Perez to boot thanks to DRS. Coming in a bit narrow into that corner to take on the Toro Rosso of, I think, Brendan Hartley in front of us there. And we've got him. We've squeezed past him. So we've just barely got that off of him, and Bottas is now in front of us, and hoping to make a move on him fairly soon. But some other cars doing alternate strategies to us are starting to hold us up here. Gasly is planning, I think, to go long into the race, and consequently he's holding up Bottas and myself as he hasn't made a pit stop yet, but Bottas is a little bit stuck behind him. Coming down again onto the back straightaway, Bottas easily, before we even get to the DRS zone, is pulling alongside that Toro Rosso in the slipstream. I'm trying to catch up. Going to have to send this very late on the brakes if I want anything out of it. And there we go. That was probably a little too late, but we go right at the inside of Bottas, who is forced to slow down a little bit on his exit. That'll give us a chance to continue fighting in here. And I've got him. A little bit of contact there as I force him out wide, but, rubbing is racing, as they say here in the US, I guess. We've also got DRS, since we went into the detection zone behind him to try to pull away some more. He's not done with us yet, though. He's aggressively coming back at us. You can see the pace in that Mercedes, but I switch back to the inside and dive in again. It looks like the grip in the braking zone is a little bit, maybe not better on the Williams, but it's enough that I can make this work. Still working with 80% AI, remember, that I set all the way in Belgium last year. It's a long time ago now. Bottas is persistent, though. He's coming up on us again, and this time he's able to use the slipstream of Marcus Ericsson in front of us. But I'm close enough that I can make a dive on them as well. That was a bit of a corner cut. Maybe the next thing I should do is increase the difficulty of the rules. But we've got him covered off. He's still right there around our outside. There we go. We've got him as well. And now Van Dorn's McLaren is left to hold off some of the chasing pack behind us, as well as the Sauber of Ericsson. Verstappen and Bottas look like they'll be stuck behind him for a little bit, and that should allow me to get away somewhat. Here on lap 13, we've gotten up into the podium places. It's only Ricciardo and Raikkonen up ahead of us. Ricciardo looks like he's won out the battle from the beginning in the end here, and he is now up into the lead. Raikkonen will pit on the end of lap 14. There we go, up into second place, but Ricciardo's a long way up the road. He's already through turn 2 by the time we reach turn 1 here and begin that very, very long corner. So we still have to make another stop. Ricciardo might not actually have to. I'm not sure exactly what his strategy is. On lap 16, though, it's time for our second pit stop of the day. Get onto another set of soft tires. I can see Bottas has followed us in again. Verstappen's gone by and inherited second place, so for a moment it's a Red Bull 1-2. Or released very quickly this time. You don't have any of the other cars in the pits to worry about aside from the Mercedes behind us. See yellow flags here on lap 17. Raikkonen's had a big off, it looks like. He's lost a lot of positions because of that. Until he had a run-in with one of the Force Indias, and I think Esteban Ocon. Meanwhile, we put ourselves up to 7th as we pass Carlos Sainz in the pits. Here's the incident from Raikkonen's perspective. He's on the inside there. Looks like Ocon's just tapped his back wheel as Raikkonen's locked up, and they've both gone wide off that last corner. Where you can see me going through, Raikkonen able to get back onto the track a little bit faster than Ocon is. So he holds on to that position. In 6th as it stands now, Verstappen made a pit stop, so he is the one behind us. Raikkonen just behind him. Verstappen's going to be the one applying pressure. One I want to take on now is Charles Leclerc, who is just in front of us. I don't know if he is on a long-haul strategy or if he's made multiple stops yet, but I want to try to pass him because he is this close in front of me, and I'm pretty sure I've got a compound better rubber than he does. I think he's on mediums by this stage. So if I can catch up to him and pass him, that'll be excellent for us. That'll also put a barrier between us and Verstappen. Someone else Verstappen will have to contend with, who should cost Verstappen a bit of time. But Verstappen unfortunately catches me first on lap 21. Using DRS, he goes up my inside. I fight back on the brakes as usual though, and now it looks like Leclerc is on softer rubber, but I think it's older than mine, so I'll be able to use more of the grip that I've got to catch up with him. Even so, because Verstappen's caught us, it looks like it's going to be a three-way fight rather than just between myself and Leclerc. So on the back straightaway once again, in Leclerc's slipstream, and DRS open. Now, there we go. Here's the onboard from Leclerc's position as I come up his inside there, flying past him. No, he is on mediums, actually, my mistake. But Verstappen follows me through. So Leclerc hasn't been able to defend me as much as I was hoping he would, just by virtue of him being a bit of a less pacey car in between myself and a very fast Verstappen. So Verstappen now is in a position to close in on me. He's got DRS immediately as we head onto the front straightaway. There's 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix. I want to hold on to his best position as I can, so I want to improve on my positions from the first season. There's a bit of a tap there from me as I go a little bit faster through that corner than I thought Verstappen actually went. Thought Verstappen was going to go faster is what I meant. So even despite that touch, it looks like things have become a bit more respectful between me and Verstappen. Bottas, though, also has pace, and he's come back at me again in the closing stages here with 2 laps to go. Leclerc behind me now looks like he's fighting with the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen as Bottas gives me absolutely no room, tries to push me off there. And finally, on the end of lap 26, who should be stricken over to the side there, but Romain Grosjean, who started the race on pole. Not a good day for him. He was down a ways, out of the points, but just to cap it all off, he finished over in the gravel 2 laps from home. Coming to the end of the race now, Fernando Alonso is the car just in front of us. Looks like Bottas has just passed him, so we match our result, just as in Bahrain from Season 1.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Park Fermé.
So up in front of us, Daniel Ricciardo will take the win. Looks like that's increasing his lead in the championship early on in the season. Very good job from him. The second place was replaced by Sebastian Vettel as Kimi Raikkonen fell down the order, and Lewis Hamilton will complete the podium. So as they celebrate up there at the top, we are looking to continue making strides in our R&D. That's basically what we've got to do even now into the second season. Something I have improved a lot in the second season are the chances of the R&D points not being wasted. The upgrades on most of my trees are now set so that they actually, I think, physically can't fail. So that's very good news for us as we head into Baku in the next race. Oh boy, the first real disaster of our first season. But fortunately I should be able to get that uploaded soon, now that I've figured out how to upload even without the internet connecting to my PS4 from my dorm room. But anyway, that'll do it for the Chinese Grand Prix. As always, YouTubers, thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.